Domestic Abuse 7-minute Snippet series. Number 4, Signposting and support. This short training snippet is part of a series of sessions created by Oasis Domestic Abuse Service in partnership with East Kent Domestic Abuse Forum. This is part 4 of 5 snippets. The others are signs of abuse, safety planning, safe inquiry, understanding risk. These snippets were created to give busy people the opportunity to use the 7 minutes it takes to have a coffee break, to give you a very basic understanding of domestic abuse and allow you to feel more comfortable to ask about the abuse and offer some support before signposting to services while considering risk. We ask all managers to allow their staff the 5 additional coffee breaks it takes to watch this series. A minimum of 2 people a week are killed by someone that they believe loved them. How many of those could have received some support if we knew enough to just ask them? When we considered this particular series, so looking at signposting and support, we believed that it was beneficial to look at the victim's journey through support. So with the police, for example, if there's an emergency, you can call 999. If you've got a hearing or speech impairment, there's a text phone service. You can report a non-emergency online or via 101. And you may speak to more than one officer. So for example, you might have one that attends following your call or calls you back following your initial call. Another may be assigned as an investigating officer to you, and you may spend more time talking to that officer. You may be asked to make a witness statement. This is your account of what happened to you, what you saw, heard or know about the crime. It could be either written or in a video recorded. You should be asked to write a victim personal statement. This lets you explain what effect the incident has had on you and is then presented to the court if it ends up in the court arena. And after an initial investigation, the police will decide whether to proceed to a full investigation. They will then refer the case to the Crown Prosecution Service or CPS if they think that there's enough evidence for them to charge a subject, and the decision will then sit with the CPS. A victim's journey through court. So once a charge has been made, you may be asked to be a witness at court. There will be additional support provided to you during this period. So the witness care unit will contact you and give you what court to go to and when to go to, unless you're giving evidence virtually from another location, which sometimes happens. They should make sure that the support that you need to give evidence is available to you, such as a hearing loop or an interpreter. They will also update you with any court results after the court hearing. As a victim of domestic abuse, witness support services may offer you additional support, such as offering you a visit to the court before the hearing and explain in more detail what will happen in court. And again, they may even visit you to explain what's happened within the court process. So across the country, there are specialist domestic and sexual violence support officers available. There are IDVAs. Independent Domestic Violence Advisor. An IDVA's role is to help a victim with everything they need to become safe and rebuild their lives, as well as helping them to navigate the criminal justice process and working with the different statutory agencies to provide wraparound support. If you're high risk, then an IDVA will represent their voice at a multi-agency meeting. So the victim won't attend, your IDVA will attend. This is called a multi-agency risk assessment conference, and that's where agencies will get together to see what they can do to keep you safe. An ISVA, or an Independent Sexual Violence Advisor, is an additional role. Their role is to support people who've experienced sexual violence. The support can be practical, such as liaising with other professionals, or finding other services that can help you, such as counselling or other talking therapies. If you're going through the criminal justice system, your ISVA can support you through the process. They will talk with police and Crown Prosecution Services on your behalf for updates, which can help you to understand what is happening and what's going to happen next. As I've already mentioned, there's a lot of specialist support around for victims of domestic abuse. There may be other IDVAs and other terminologies that you hear across the country. A health IDVA, a health independent domestic violence advisor, may be working in the hospitals. They may be working in the GP surgeries. Their advice and support is likely to be immediate, because when you seek help from a medical professional, they're likely and hopefully are going to be able to make a referral on to you. A young person's IDVA does exactly what it says on the packet. They're likely to be working with those from 16 to 21 to be able to offer support. Outreach workers, they're more likely to work with medium risk victims of domestic abuse. They're likely to work with you until you're safer too. Refuge workers are quite self-explanatory. They're those that support you while living in refuge accommodation. And refuge accommodation is available across the whole country for anyone that is fleeing domestic abuse and is unable to stay at home. It gives you additional support through your journey through refuge. Domestic abuse services. Across the country, there are a number of services, apps and safe spaces available to support victims of domestic and sexual violence. Most of these are national, however there are numerous local services available, many of which you can look up online, including your local council websites. A list of these services that have been taken from the government website or the Named Services website that are accurate as of February 2024 are in the description below this video. In Kent, CIDAS offers a person-centred holistic range of support services. This support includes safe refuge accommodation, specialist IDVAs, community outreach and therapeutic group programmes. And support can be accessed via victim support for assessment and referral on to those specialist services by calling 0808 168 9111. These services are managed by Oasis, Clarion and Look Ahead. Medway Domestic Abuse Services, or MDAS, are run by Oasis Domestic Abuse Service, who provide person-centred specialist support for victims of domestic abuse and their families. They also provide tailored support to those living in Medway towns to keep victims safe and from there to be able to recover from abuse. This support includes specialist IDVAs to support those deemed high risk, community outreach, therapeutic group programmes and short-term support and guidance. And support can be accessed via the Oasis Helpline on 0800 917 9948. What now? Please watch the other 4 snippet sessions. If you're a manager, please allow for those 4 additional coffee breaks. If this is happening to someone you know or work with, you can call local or national helplines such as the free phone National Domestic Abuse Helpline on 0808 2000 24/7 for women. For men, the Men's Advice Line on 0808 80 10 327. And if you identify as LGBT+, call Galop on 0800 999 5428. For forced marriage or honour crimes, you could call Carmen Nirvana on 0800 5999 247. But if you think that someone is at serious or immediate risk, you must call the police on 999, being clear about your concerns. And please ensure that you're making safeguarding referrals as appropriate. Please never judge. The biggest barrier to someone disclosing domestic abuse is previous unhelpful or negative responses. How would you want to be treated if this was you?